said we were going to be getting to the main part of the game by the time we get to the 7 Shadow Riders. Apparently, that's really more of a... Really, when you get to this part of the story, it's more like, this is the last stretch. Have fun while you can. Because this is very rapid fire whenever I've been playing through, and sure enough, as I remember playing through this game the couple times I did before, these 7 duelists are very rapid fire. I mean, I'm already to the middle one, who is... Gee, I wonder who it is. I mean, just look at that. They aren't even trying. I mean, he even looks just like the card. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm already getting to the middle guy, Don Saluk here. And I've already checked ahead, and I can access the 5th one already, meaning I just got 6 and 7, and then a few events after that, and the main game is done. Now, this event is actually pretty long, because, I mean, it's just the detective, with this really convoluted plan, trying to steal everybody's keys, of course, thanks to the ancient edicts. He can't keep them all unless he duels somebody, and since we were smart enough to keep ours on our person, he wasn't able to get all 7, so he only got 6. There are some pretty funny lines here, but, you know, just kind of skipping through it, because I've actually failed this guy once. His deck isn't even that bad. It's kind of a warrior's deck with a lot of the Scorpion Bandit cards. Now, the thing that struck me about this event was how the logic would happen. Since he stole all 6 keys, nothing ever said that he had to duel each person for each key. You know, unless I'm just missing something here. So therefore, by that means of logic, you should be able to steal 6 of them, like Don Saluk here, and then just duel 1 person. And if he wins all the keys. That's actually pretty smart. This is really good. This little event is good for the story. It's really interesting to read, and, you know, especially if you've already watched the anime. But, I mean, if you're just playing the game through, even then it'll still be interesting. Now, back to my thoughts for what I'm going to be doing with this game. Since all of... Well, actually, I can't say all of 2 people watch it. Because, believe it or not, I've actually been having a fair bit of views on these. Who knew? It is definitely one of the more unique works I've been doing. The thing is, the after game for this game is really just more like do whatever. And doing whatever is like getting all of the dual spirits. Spoiler alert, you can reduel everybody, including the 7 Shadow Riders, if you know where they're located, and usually at night. Sadly, there's no endless nights anymore, so it's not easy to duel people at night. You can even duel a couple of other more special duelists much later on. And they can either give you an outfit or some of the rarest cards in the game, and they won't give them up easily. Let's see, there's definitely all those outfits. Unfortunately, you can't register every single duelist you meet, because, well, some of them are going to be dual spirits, some of them are going to be various other spirits that, like Genzo, that you can't ever register, even though you can reduel them readily. So really, I'm thinking that once I get to the point of the game where I'm allowed to do whatever, since there's nothing else you can do once the main game is done. It's not like in Duel Academy special duelist once you get the King of Games. And that would be Chancellor Shepard himself. And even then, that wasn't much, but it was something. A lot of the good games I've played is where you can get 100% and they give you something as a reward for doing that. Now, I've never been able to get 100% cards in this game, so I don't think I'll be able to show that off. Because there are a lot of cards that you can only get through gifts, and gifts in this game are not that easy. Usually it involves you having to use a dual spirit, which again are very hard to find. And then just try and reduel people until you get lucky. And then there are some duelists that... Well, then there are some places where you have to get, like, say the Dark Magician Girl, which is extremely rare, but she has a lot of good cards she gives you. So I don't think I'll be showing that off either. So really I think I'll just kind of, show around the island, maybe show the beginnings of all the duelists you can fight, but otherwise I'm not going to just keep on having parts coming out with me. It's like, I got this costume, or I got this card, or I got this dual spirit. I think I'll just kind of leave it hanging. I won't give 100% per se. I'll just kind of leave that to all you crazy masochistic gamers who can go through that kind of stuff, but for me, that's just not how I go through. Unless the game's Mega Man Battle Network. Then I decided to become masochist enough to get 100% in all of the games. Speaking of which, since I've already done a couple, I could talk about the last two that I played. If you've ever looked on my channel enough, I was planning to do a Mega Man Battle Network 4 Red Sun playthrough, because, I was so fascinated by how weird the fourth game was, and that weirdness has now evolved into more or less hatred for the game, because I've been playing Battle Network 5 recently, something a friend gave me, because I gave him my Paper Mario Thousand Year Door copy, and he gave me his Team Colonel copy. And, well, first off, I'll introduce the next duelist. Those of you who watch the series will be amazed that this guy was in here. It's Kaiba Man. Yes, you can go to the hot springs at night, way late into the game. This is about the first time I've ever been able to access him. And he's similar to Jinzo, almost always there. He is a tough cookie. His deck centers around having to special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon, or maybe get Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And that can be scary, because if you don't have anything to counter it, like a trap card, a spell card, anything like that, that thing will just beat you down with 3,000 attack points. Trust me, I've lost a couple duels to him just because he summoned that card and I did not have anything to counter it. Although the last few times I've been dueling him, Kaiba Man's been having some bad draws or something, because I was able to defeat him without him even being able to attack. Like, I remember there was one duel, the one just right after that, this one, where I was able to just attack him directly the entire duel, and the duel was really quick because of that. Sadly, all Kaiba Man will give you in the end is... I'm not sure if he gives you his card of the same name, but I know he does give you an outfit that, well, looks just like his outfit, the Blue Eyes White Dragon outfit. Yeah. And that's really all about it for Kaiba. His deck kind of supports Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's a strong deck. I mean, 4 stars for just a regular duelist. Now back to the Battle Network series. I've been playing through Team Colonel and I love it. The main thing that Team Colonel did right was that it... Sorry, lost my breath there. Was that it reintroduced a lot of what 4 just kind of haphazardly introduced better, and it also has the very unique liberation mission system, which is kind of like but just kind of like regular virus battles, but you know, with a little bit of a twist, kind of like a turn-by-turn strategy game. Also, I just like the fact that you don't have to connect with the other version to get everything. The game is a lot more insular, and there's not the very stupid fact that you had to play through the entire game 3 full times, if you were lucky, and then trade with the Download 4 Red Sun or Blue Moon version that had gone through the game 3 times as well, and had all the chips it could get to go 100%. And for what? To face the strongest version of what has got to be the worst final boss in the Download series? I mean, just seriously, Duo is like the most unfairly hard fight you can get in the Download series. I mean, I think that even Nebula Gray or Alpha is less cheap, because at least it's simpler to hit it, and it doesn't have a bunch of attacks that you can't dodge or anything. So, I mean, I haven't completed Colonel yet. I've just gotten to the Omega Navis, which was something that was very, very haphazardly introduced, but I think they did it a lot better in Team Colonel by making it so that you can access the Omega Navi immediately after you beat him for the first time. You have to go through Alpha, then Beta, and then you can go to Omega. Not to mention the Dark Chips, where instead of some kind of you're doing poorly, here's some really strong chips, they are chips that you can put and have. One of the best things I think I've ever seen in the games is the Chaos Unison, which allows you to use them freely if you can time it correctly. If not, then you have an enemy attack you. I could probably go into it for a while, but in the end, I just find Download 5 to be one of the better games. I am thinking of replaying 3 on my own. You can watch my blind playthrough of it, but, you know, I'm not looking back on it too fondly now. There were some good moments in it, but eh. So, you know, if I had to say, I still say 2 is the best by far. Then 3 and 5 are equal right now.